on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
People, this is Chalet. I am the qualifying broker for Level Group LLC. What do we do? Well, we are a fully licensed and operational real estate firm here in Florida, which means if you're looking to buy, to sell, to rent, or to invest in real estate, we are your premier source for such transaction. Now, while we cover a broad array of transactions, our niche is investor centrics. Our goal, our main focus is to provide opportunity for our investors, for our client, and even for our agents. When I started in this business over 20 years ago, one thing I realized, the majority of the agents that were assisting buyers and assisting sellers, they were not themselves investing in real estate. They lacked the knowledge or the know-how to get into creating wealth for themselves. So hence the reason why I've decided, well, I'm gonna create a company that is investor friendly by making the process very, very easy for anybody or the ordinary person to be able to understand and jump into investing into real estate. A lot of time there are many terms and jargon and complication involved around real estate. So we went out there and we debunked all of that. We dissect the process. We present you with the pros and cons of owning a rental property or investing for the long term or for cash flow. So this was a much needed area within the industry that we feel was required for us to delve into and provide some intervention. Now, having said that, it was not easy to grow this business. Like anything else in life that is worthy, there are gonna be challenges. Well, guess what? We had to face many challenges in this business. For instance, as a minority owner, it was very difficult for us to gain the trust of our community. So what we had to do, we had to switch our focus, not so much into compensation, but we had to focus on the individual. What kind of value were we bringing to the community? So once we start focus on helping, assisting, well, we became a household name. Everybody started to know, hey, New Level team is here to help. And slowly but surely, we started to gain ground and be known in the community and be entrusted within the community. Another area that was difficult for us to overcome was access to capital. In this business, if you're buying real estate, if you're investing in real estate, you're gonna need money. Well, as an emerging or a new business, it was not easy for us to have access to capital because the way this works, when you show up to the bank, when you show up to a financial institution and you want to borrow money, the first thing they wanna see is, well, what is your track record? What have you done? So, which means we needed to pour our own money into our own deals and managing our money to show that we knew what we were doing. So fast forward to today, several successful transactions later, now we establish a solid history and a track record. We can now go to the bank with that, record and show that what we've done, and it will translate into a more easy way of facilitate the cash flow for us. Now we have a relationship with our bankers, which make it a lot more easy to borrow money to invest into real estate. The last challenge I've overcome, as I mentioned earlier, because we are in multiple markets in different states, it was very challenging to have people on the ground, because if you're gonna invest or if you're gonna manage property outside of your area, you need reliable professional that you can trust, because you're not on site. So you need the local expert to let you know or to oversee the well-being of your property, even to guide you into where to park your money. So by developing those relationships, we needed to form alliances with other agencies, other brokerage firms, other agents on the ground to be our eyes and ears and point us in the right direction so that we can make sound decisions moving forward. So those relationships in turn translated into opportunity for us, for our clients, for our agents, and for our circle of investors. So those are some of the challenges we faced as we were trying to grow the business to what it is today. So my advice to anybody thinking about getting into this business or buying a property or being part of our team, you need to do a few things. First, you got to make sure you do your due diligence. If you're going to invest in a property, if you're going to put your capital, your hard-earned money somewhere, you got to make sure you understand the pros and cons. You understand the risk associated with if a property becomes vacant, who's going to pay for the mortgage? If there is damages, who's going to pay for the repair? How old is the property? Taxes, insurance, all these factors, you have to put that into perspective prior to deploying your capital. Second, you got to make sure you stay abreast of the new market trend. If you were into Airbnb, should you switch into fix and flip, or should you switch into buy and hold? Because real estate is cyclical. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. When the interest rates start to change, you also have to change strategy. So this is something you have to put into perspective. And finally, you got to make sure you have some save capital. You need to have some reserve. If you go into any deals, some of the first thing the bank gonna ask to see is, do you have any reserve or do you have any money yourself to put into the transaction? They call that, do you have any skin in the game? So those are some of the few points I wanted to point out to you so you understand what it takes to become a real estate investor and to benefit from the many things that real estate can offer to anybody. So if you have some money parked to the side, if you are hesitant, you are not sure, guess what? Come see us here at New Level. We'll be glad to talk to you and show you how real estate works and how you can best deploy your capital. As the qualifying broker, my responsibility is to oversee every single deal before we could put our stamp on it. My name is Chalet, your principal broker.